mother and her two sons. And nothing could hurt them as long as they stay connected to their home.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 horror thriller Never Let Go. The film is directed by Alexander Aja and it stars Halle Berry, Percy Daggs and Anthony B. Jenkins. Right, okay, the film focuses on, well, it's kind of an unspecified time period. There is a mother and her two children living in a shack out in the woods. It is explained that there was some event that has been called the Rapture that's took place. And according to Halle Berry's character, they're the only ones left, and they have to look after each other. If they venture outside the shack, the cabin, they have to stay attached to the cabin by ropes, and if they don't, then there's something quite sinister in the forest will prey on them. This leads to paranoia, anxiety, distruths, lies, and ultimately turns a family against each other. Right, what are my thoughts on Never Let Go? I think this one had an interesting concept from the trailer that I saw. I saw one trailer for this a few months ago, and it looked interesting. And what immediately drew me to this was the director Alexander Aja, who did Crawl. I think one of the films he did was Crawl. He did The Hills Have Eyes as well, I believe. So you know, he's a pretty decent like horror director, this guy, and he's good at making movies that'll kind of keep you on the edge of your seat. So I thought when I get the opportunity, I will check this one out. However, I'm not going to lie, after watching this one, I found this one a real slog to get through. It's one of those films that kind of tries to keep you guessing as to what's going on. You know, you've got Halle Berry's character, who is absolutely like, you need to follow these rules. She lays these rules out for them, these two children. If you don't follow these rules, basically we're going to die and you're going to die, and that's the end of it. You know, there's this evil spirit in the forest. You know, the world has ended as far as they're concerned, and these rules have to be followed. And you've got these two children. One of them believes mum pretty much absolutely, and the other one has doubts. And that's kind of how the film progresses. You've got one that's starting to question things and one that doesn't, sort of thing. And you are presented like evidence for both sides. And I'm trying to be careful here so as not to spoil anything. So you presented evidence to support what the mother is saying. However, the majority of that evidence is seen through her eyes. So you question whether, you know, she's mentally ill, I suppose is the best way to put it. And you see evidence presented through, you know, the eyes of the child that is starting to have doubts. So that the whole hook of this film is who's real, who's right, the mother or the child? What's going on? What's the reality of their situation? Is there an evil spirit in the woods that's preying on them, just waiting for an opportunity to, you know, kill them, I suppose? You know, the mother keeps saying that, you know, don't let it touch you because that's the end of it, sort of thing. And it suggests that in the past she's had to murder their father and their grandmother, I think it is, because of this evil that touched them. But you don't see that. You just kind of see evidence of their spirits. But again, it's through Halle Berry's eyes, so you don't know if she's mentally ill or not or anything like that. So it keeps laying out this evidence. Now, I think the problem with this film is I think it tries to be too clever for its own good, because it keeps kind of flipping the script, if you like. And now I like films that, present one thing and give you another. I think that sometimes can work really, really well. But I don't necessarily have a lot of time for films that try and play games with you a little bit and present one thing, show another, and then keep flipping the script. So you're actually, I've personally found by the end of this film, I was like, okay, what's going on? What's going on here? Because I've got a little bit confused by all this, flipping it around sort of thing. So I didn't feel satisfied by the end of this film, and that's a shame because it does have some clever imagery going on in this film and some moments where you are genuinely on edge. It just doesn't play around with that enough, in my opinion. And part of the reason for that is you've only got these three characters. So you've got Halle Berry, who's carrying the majority of this film as the mother, and then you've got these two young actors who are, supporting roles, and that's it. You get a couple of appearances by other actors here and there, but it's them three, it's that dynamic. And while I think certainly the two young actors that play the brothers, Nolan and Samuel, do actually a pretty decent job here. As daft as it sounds, I wasn't convinced by Halle Berry. She tries to put like this southern twang on her performance that I don't know. It just didn't work for me. And she was very, very harsh in the film, and I get that was her character, but you very rarely saw this motherly side of her. This motherly instinct. It was just almost like constant in your face survival. We need to survive. We need to survive. And it's kind of no wonder that two children were going in different directions, if you like. So yeah, she didn't have a lot of redeeming qualities, the mother, and she does something in this film that almost made her one of the most unlikable film characters of all time, in my opinion. So this is a bit of a mixed bag, this one. I do think this had quite a bit of potential. I don't think it got anywhere near realising its potential. It plays with its audience a bit too much. And, it just didn't pull off enough scares from my perspective. So, yeah, for me, it just didn't do enough for me to really recommend this one. It's not terrible or anything. It's nicely made, obviously it's got some strong production values to it and stuff like that, but for me it didn't really hit home. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this film, and I will of course be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.